Allahag Fatty with
I am Adama Nyang.
Coming up in this edition.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon rather to all our listeners and viewers out there. So let me take you through the headlines on the Standard newspaper today. It says government announced construction of a new prison to start soon. Families of accused victims reject government compensation offer. Government renew vow to fight corruption. And we have the main headline here says government remarks on Murid. And we have ambassador impressed with Turkish company coal store project in Iran. And suspected killer of Gambian woman in the UK to stand trial today. NPP Percy Demo Boja buried in Bakau, and fuel exploitation killed 2 in Bullfoot. Those are the main headlines on the Standard newspaper, and let's look at what we have on Friday. On Friday it says, unemployed Gambia collects graduate, question delay of teachers' appointment. Defend government aids, 30 million. And we have Gambian Navy announced arrest of two fishing vessels. Then they are made headlines say Justice Minister confirmed dismissal of senior officers in anti-corruption. Are the main headline we have today.
Thank you very much, Adama, for that marathon roundup on the lead stories on various newspapers in the country this afternoon. Let's begin our roundup with a Standard newspaper this afternoon, where families of Aki victims rejected government's compensation offer. Speaking at a special government press conference in response to the protest group Gambia against looted asset gala, its petition for President Adam Barrow to take immediately action on recommendations of the National Assembly on the acute kidney injury. The crisis that killed over 70 Gambian children from taking contaminated medicine in 2022. The Attorney General, Dauda A. Jawa, has revealed that the affected families have declined the government's compensation offer and a bigger compensation. They even would not accept a part of payment, Jallo said. He said government had allocated a budget for compensation and had even initiated a negotiation with the victims, but they rejected the offer. But I am acknowledge the right of victims to seek legal cost. People have the right to go to court anytime they state. Jallo further say, unlike private companies, government procedures go through so many layers. He, however, emphasized that government is committed to address the issue, and that there are ongoing efforts of engagement with Indian government and the pharmaceutical company involved in manufacturing the drugs. So government is regardless. Well, let's because of Aki victims, that is the parents that lost their children through this lack of medical control in the country. The government has come out with a budget to compensate the various families, but it's like they are also eyeing and looking for a better or for a bigger offer than what the government present, and then the process also was low for them. So they rejected the government compensation, and then now they are trying to take a legal issue with the authorities on that. Your take on that before we proceed?
Okay, my take on that one is like the acute was something that we have acting about a year, and the case is still going on. People they are pulling from all other corners. Gambians are complaining, which was their right, it was the right, because every life is important. So ending the life of those small babies was a disaster. So the government should do better. I think they should still continue dialogue. They should talk about it. I think before going to court again, it will take them a number of months or years before they will complete on those cases. So I think the government should also listen to them, because losing a baby because of some negligent, I can say, is something so painful. So I think the government should do something about it and talk to them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's very important issue because of what we are observing. If you look at the standard news paper, the story is there and it highlighted the role and the responsibility that the government are taking, but the victims of family have one a bigger offer. So it's not about performing occurrence of church in our country.
Yeah, government should take action because that was so unfortunate. So government should take action. The health of every Gambian is important. So they should check medicine and medication that come to this country because before such thing will repeat itself again. Because that was so we lost a lot of babies because of negligence or someone that did not do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, let's
reason how it looked like. That was so terrible. When I saw that there, I was like, how can you subject a human being to this? It was something that was so unfortunate there. So I think it is a welcoming news. The government should try. It is something that is due. I think it needed to happen, but unfortunately it did not happen, and now they are working on it. I think it is a welcoming thing. They should help with Gambians on that because some are in prison. If they go to prison, they can learn skill, they can do things. So when they come out, they will be better. But if you go to prison, you see that you suffer to the place. Some if it will come out where they are not mentally okay, it will affect them. But building a new prison, I think is something welcoming and it's something good. So
yeah, I think that is we are a little bit struggling with our community in the studio here. So we want to do more of this paper review, but the connection is not that much strong. So what we're going to do, and then we continue with the review of all the articles that you've read, to full context into a proper perspective for the better understanding of our audience too. This was on the standard. Islamic Council have both apologized to the Murid Brotherhood, a larger thrive and most prominent in the Senegal, the Gambia, and most places around the world, with the headquarters in the city of Touba in Senegal. The apologies came after comments made by a Gambian Imam, Abdul Karim flagship, or even in the flagship, even in the lives of the Murids. Drinking or that Magal is a tantamount to one of Muslims. They are, however, deemed to be highly offensive to the Murid sect. The Standard received unconfirmed reports that a member of the community in Gambia have reported the matter to the police in a bid to avoid possible tension. The Ministry of Lands, Regional Government and Regional Affairs over the weekend issued a statement condemning the inappropriate and or the Murid community both within the Gambia and around the world. We acknowledge the significant pain and misunderstanding. This step must not be tolerated within our ranks. The Ministry of the Muslim Ummah, the Council, rooted in wisdom, patience and gentleness in the Gambia and beyond. Well, that is a very interesting statement from the government of the Gambia, the Ministry of for many Gambians that also call on our King TV and King FM radio program this morning, they all emphasize that the Imam should avoid using
Islam taught us to be peaceful, to bring peace. So, doing giving, I think our religious leaders should avoid such thing because doing. If you go online, you will see different versions of it. People, some condemn it, some were supporting, the Murids were angry. So somebody's we should avoid them, or you are condemning what they are doing. And I think our religious belief, we believe they are saying that they believe in the Prophet. So they believe that is a certain group which they believe a prayer, they believe on. So I think the Imam, when he feel like it is wrong what they are doing, he should use a better way instead of mentioning their name and mentioning the place where they do their gatherings.
Yeah. I think from my perspective on that issue, like we are not saying anybody should not someone and talk on issues affecting the society. But what we are saying, how you project yourself, how you project that particular issue, and how you go about it. These are very important things because if you want to talk on any issue, talk on it exactly how it is in the Quran. Because the Quran did not mention any name, but it mentioned things that you have the right to say it, and those things are seriously practicing in the society. If people are going to this Magal and other places, doing things that has no quotation where Islam abandon or condemn that particular act, you can just say this is what Islam says about A and B and C. But using names
without
and
naming
people,
without naming or
I
pointing
think
at places.
I think we need to be very mindful. Somebody is calling, but we are not taking any calls on this program. You can text if you want to be part of this program. You can only send me a text message. So the caller 754-237. You can send me a text message in the studio line or with my own numbers here. I have 7265639. If you want to be part of this program, we are taking only text messages on official number here. You have to send me a text on 7265639. Go over it, whether it is fit for air or not before. So let's drop a message on 7265639. 7265639 for all your comments and contribution on the daily podcast. Well, we'll take another short break, and when we return, we take you to another item on the program, as we have a lot of spicy, juicy stuff on the program for you this afternoon. My name is Allahag Fatty, and I'm with
Adama Nyang.
We're going for a short break and we'll be back. Welcome back to the daily podcast, and we remind that you are listening to King FM 94.7. This program brings you all the latest that you need to know about the current happenings of the country and beyond as well. So now let's take our shoes to other part of Africa, where civil society activities, journalists, and protesters have been secretly detained or adopted across part of Africa. Human rights groups say this enforced disappearance to use by depositic government. So for more details on that, let's join the DW.
A town hall event in Ouagadougou on March 18, 2024. Barry had denounced the killing of several Fulani civilians by the military government in a town of Solezo 4 days earlier. He has not been seen since. Against the government's new tax and financial bill in Nairobi on June 25, 2024, it later emerged that he was treated for gunshot wounds at a city hospital. Makiria has not been seen since. Omar Silla, also known as Fonike Mengwe, was abducted in Conakry on July 9, 2024 by masked armed men believed to be agents of the military government. He was taken along with his colleague Mamadi Biloba. The two have not been seen since. Okechi Iferi Mountains was detained by the army at the height of the nationwide SARS protest over police brutality on October 27, 2020. She and 2 fellow activists who were taken in Oyibo River State on the same day have not been seen since. Bia Ajag Maru's car was found abandoned near the Freedom Bridge over the Nile River in Juba on October 4, 2023. The executive director of the youth-led Junubian Chronicles Initiative has not been seen since. These are only a few among Africa's many victims of enforced disappearances. People whose whereabouts remain unknown.
So those were the roundup from DW on the countries Kenya, Guinea, where people, activities and journalists have been kept in communicated, or in fact, little knowledge about of their well-being. So it's like the ugly scenes are also emerging from Africa again. Now again, we transport fears now out of reach. Abdullahi Amadou gets out of school on on roller sticks. There's a fuel price has so and his parents can't afford to pay transport so now. So Adama, this is a very interesting story. With the transport fare being increased, Abdullahi Amadou used a roller, to go to school. But let's have this roundup from DW. Well, I wish that you understand a lot, but it's very simple. What this guy said, that transport fares, the guy said transport fares out of reach. Abdullahi Amadou get to school on a roller. Do you know a roller? This electrical machine that you can stand on it and then it run on the highway. That's what he used to tackle the expensive of transport in this country. Yeah. So, still with your international roundup, UK has announced sweeping new restrictions on overseas recruitment, blocking more than 100 or so to cope with migration. I think, Adama, this is not very good news because the UK government are doing everything possible to cut migrant workers in their country. That is not good for Africa, and it's not good for Asia, and it's good perhaps maybe
for developing countries. Yes, yeah, it is not good for all developing countries because UK is a great pillar in the world. That is a great country in the world. So when they talking of stopping all this ones that they do for some other African countries, including the Gambia, I think it will have a lot of effects on us because we got sponsors and a lot of stuff from the UK as they were our colonial masters. So I think that one is going to be a bit hard on Gambians. Mr. Fatty, there is a story which I got the headline from Freya. I want us to discuss about it, where Gambia College students that are graduates of the Gambia College, I know you will be saying them. Yeah. Graduates of the Gambia College are complaining of unemployment. They will go to school for 3 years, pay tuition fee, complete your studies, and those you were waiting for them to employ you will not employ you. Just study for 3 years and go and stay around without doing nothing. So I think that is something that is affecting us. I see people who went for studies. You've been there for 3 years, and I know how hectic it is to study in the Gambia with tuition fee. You have to transportation is hard. You have to your lecture notes, you photocopy, you grade, you do your assignment, you do your project, you do all those things for good 3 years, and you complete. You are just giving your certificate. You are giving your attestation and everything. You are sitting at home, thinking of what to do next, thinking of to start fresh again. I think the government should help us graduate. I think the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education have a greater role to play on that. I think they should try to help to look into the issue. If they can at least employ a few number than leaving everybody. I think this is the second batch. Last year batch they were not employed, and there is a batch that is graduating this year, which they they already know that they won't be employed because last year BAG is not employed, so for them to, they are not going to be employed. So the Gambia College will be graduating hundreds of students who will be just walking around doing nothing. So I think that is so unfortunate. So the Minister of Basic and Secondary Education and the Gambia government, I think they should help. They'll look into that matter, please.
All right. So when you say you use the word "I think" 3 times, so let's try to digest the 3 "I think" on this item here.
Yeah.
I think the government should employ. You should explain on that. Little.
Yeah, because well, as we know the Gambia College, any student that is going to the Gambia College, you go there. If you study after 3 years, it is automatic employment. That's what we all knew. We were born and grew up into that. So when we see that recently, there was this, the Gambia College was taken to private and students were paid. Before students don't pay, and students were paid. Some will struggle, some will drop out, come back again, struggle to complete those 3 years with all the tuition fee they paid, and they would be employed. I think that is not fair to them. Yeah, that is not fair. So I think the Gambia government, that's why I said I think Gambia government should help. Gambia government should help look into the matter, see what they can do, or if they know that they cannot employ, I think they should look into the matter because it is so difficult. I see a lot of them that you go to the Gambia College, study, complete your studies, you come out, you have no employment, you are just roaming around, or you try to go and start fresh to study another course, which is so difficult as things are very hard in this country. So Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, on behalf of the Gambia College students, we please look into the matter. I know it is not easy, but look into the matter and try to see how best you can employ those people that are graduating from the Gambia College. Because as you know, a lot of them coming from the Gambia College are from struggling background. You struggle, your parents struggle, pay your school fees. From secondary school, you complete, you go to the college, they still continue paying for you, and at the end of the day, you complete without employment. So that is something so challenging for them. That's why I said I think the government should look into it, Mr. Fatty.
All right. Yes, because of it can be better said than somebody who have the experience on it. You are a student. But that's also important to talk on those issues. Now, this is what we are talking about in this country. If you look at our educational system from grade 1 to grade 12, I think we need a whole reforms in our education system because in the advanced world, there's nowhere on earth that you can go to a school for 12 good years
and go to
and
college.
And then you graduate, you don't even have a single skill to survive yourself. Gambia is the only country that is doing that. Even in Senegal here, if you do the education grade 1 or grade 12 before you graduate, you have 2 or 3 skills. Or the society also, because of imagine you go to school from grade 1 up to 12 years you are in the educational system. You don't learn any other skill, and then you by extension you go to the college or university again, you don't learn any other skill, and then the way the world is going, we all cannot have jobs like this. The competition is high, so a lot of stuff happening. But because of we talk about qualifications, we all have qualifications, but we all cannot have jobs under the government and even under the private sector. I think our educational system, we need to reform it and then try to bend it with skills that has to be composite like a core subject. Immediately you read grade 4 or grade 5 or grade 7, or in fact let's say grade 7. Grade 7 you choose your education with theory, your education with carpentry, plumbing, electrician, whatsoever. But that skills work too has to be a compulsory. That is to support you in case you finish grade 12 before you don't have a sponsor to go to university or before you have any other thing that you want to do. But that skill can now support you in your life. I think we need to consider these factors in our educational system.
Yeah, I think the government is doing well towards that part. I think they started introducing that to the school system. We have this STEM education where students are introduced to other vocational skills which they can do, which will help them after school. But like for these ones I'm referring to, they were not fortunate. Most of them were not fortunate to be part of that because that started recently. So those people are people that go through the formal educational system The only thing they do is go to school study. You complete your 12 years of basic and secondary education, add another 3 years to that, that makes it 15 years you've been going to school study, which how we know how hectic it is to learn in this country. Then after that, you are given a certificate which you know I'm getting this certificate, but this certificate cannot give me employment. I just have the certificate. Yes, I don't say the Gambia College certificate cannot give it will give you employment, but the employment which we were thinking, everyone was thinking that if I complete the college, I'm going direct to the
the truth is, the documents are good, but, yes. what we are saying, we don't have that number of companies in the country. Right now, if you look at the Gambia, you look at the companies that are operate, and then even some of the companies, they are even thinking reducing their staff. Because they don't have the financial muscle to continue with those number of staff that they are having. And we have thousands of students also going to the college and the university. Every year when they graduate, they also expect to come to those companies. And those companies are even reducing their staff. So you see the stress here. Yeah. This is what I'm saying. We need to revive our educational system because earlier the better. It has to start at somewhere. I think that's very important.
Yeah, the earlier the better, because it is like we say, a lot of youths that are walking around without employment. I think if we have vocational skill centers, I think they should invest more into them. They are really trying by opening some universities which are technical ones, but I think the secondary and even at basic level, I think they should start introducing that, because if you are a child, someone learn faster when you are a child. If you started something from your primary level, before you reach a higher level, you will be able to have a better skill on it. So it will help those students before they complete their secondary education, they will have something to do. So I think the government should look into that and help more. I know they are trying, but let them extend it to the lower one, to the primary sector, so that we know the knowledge.
The reason I brought this idea is like migration stuff. If you look at the situation, somebody is playing in the top flight of Gambian football, let's say 4th division. You play for a top club in 4th division for a number of years. The club don't even have the money to be paying footballers in the Gambia. Now imagine that guy spent 5-6 years in playing division of football, 4th division, but at the end of the day, he lose up and he went to the back way, and then he could not succeed and die on the sea. And you go to the university, you graduate, you sit here, you don't have work. You have no other alternative than using the back way. This is so sad. It's sad. Because the story that I am about to read here, last week a boat carrying 160 African migrants. African migrants.
Sure. So. Light for fame.
Eh?
My top light ran off. Yeah. It's not it.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Well, I can go well. Things are coming back. Yeah.